State Statutory Research for the Intellectual Property Research course at Boston College Law School. Patent law is exclusively a federal issue, and so is most of copyright law. Trademark law can be federal or state, and trade secret law, until the enactment of the Defend Trade Secrets Act of 2016, was exclusively a state law issue. Researching the laws of a single state are very similar to researching federal statutes. State statutes are published in the same way as federal statutes, first in slip law form, then chronologically as session laws, and then incorporated into a subject arrangement as a code. Codes can be official or unofficial, annotated or unannotated. State codes on Lexis, Westlaw, and Bloomberg law have the same editorial features as their federal codes. There are variations in names and numbering systems of the state statutes. For example, Massachusetts calls its session laws the Acts and Resolves, and its code is the general laws. Both the Acts and Resolves and the general laws use the chapter as the major subdivision. California, on the other hand, has a nominative code, identifying each major subdivision by name rather than number. So instead of being divided into titles, like the federal code, or chapters, like Massachusetts, there are 29 separate codes. And there are statutes involving trademarks in the California Business and Professions Code, the California Health and Safety Code, the California Labor Code, the California Corporations Code, and the California Government Code. When dealing with the laws of one state, start with a secondary source for that state or the index to that state's code. If you have a citation but are unsure of exactly how to format your statutory citation, both Lexis and Westlaw aid in formatting your citation. For example, California's trademark definitions are in section 14202 of the Business Code. To get that statute by citation on Lexis from the home page, select Tools, then Get a Doc Assistance. Use the pull-down menus to choose your content type statutory codes, select your jurisdiction, and then click on the citation format for the code you are looking for. Just type the section number into the box and click Get a Document to go directly to that citation, to that section. On Westlaw, start by going to the particular state's Statutes and Court Rules page. On the right will be Tools and Resources, including a fine template for that state. Again, just put your section number in the correct box and click Go to go directly to that code section. When you're dealing with the laws of 50 states, many states, especially when you need to deal with the laws of all 50 states, there are much more efficient ways to structure your research than to search each state individually. Lawmakers from different states often choose different language to regulate the same thing. One way that states sometimes work together to minimize conflicts between state laws is through uniform laws. Uniform laws are really model state statutes, which individual states are free to adopt in their entirety, in part, or not at all. States that have adopted the uniform law or parts of it often look to interpretations of that statute from other states that have adopted the law. The uniform law relevant to IP practice is the Uniform Trade Secrets Act, the publication that sets out uniform laws, which states have adopted them, and case notes interpreting the statute is a Thomson Reuters publication called Uniform Laws Annotated, which is available on Westlaw. You can find it at the bottom of the Tools and Resources links from the Statutes and Court Rules page, or just start to type Uniform Laws Annotated into the search box and select it from the pull-down menu. From the ULA screen, you can search all of the uniform laws or select the one you are interested in. The Uniform Acts appear online in the same order they appear in the bound volumes, so the Trade Secrets Act is near the bottom of the page under the heading Civil Procedural and Remedial Laws. Choosing the Trade Secrets Act takes us to the table of contents for this act. While you can run a search from the screen, selecting ULA Trade Secret References and Annotations takes us to the editor's notes, which begins with a table of jurisdictions that have enacted this act, along with citations to where this can be found in the individual state codes. The individual sections of the Uniform Act have the same types of research references as any code on Westlaw, except that notes of decisions can be the cases in any state adopting the uniform law. Another way to get access to many states' IP statutes at once is through a 50-state survey. Westlaw has a collection of 50-state surveys in its secondary sources collections. Westlaw divides them into regulatory, and statutory surveys, which are grouped by major practice areas. Westlaw has the trademarks and trade secrets surveys under the heading Intellectual Property. Let's look at one on enforcing non-compete clauses under the Uniform Trade Secrets Act. Under the title is the month and year of the latest update to the survey and a general introduction to the topic. Below that is a table that provides state-by-state links to the relevant code sections along with short summaries of a number of key provisions. Lexis Plus also has a number of 50-state surveys. To access them, type 50 state into the universal search bar and select LexisNexis 50-state surveys, statutes, and regs when it appears. Currently, the only 50-state survey on IP on Lexis deals with trademark protection for trade and service marks. This survey begins with an overview, starting with federal trademark law, followed by some generalizations about state trademark law. The state-by-state table that summarizes content and links to relevant code sections is a little awkward to use online, but you can download the entire table as an Excel worksheet for easier manipulation. Bloomberg Law has a treatise called Trade Secrets, a State-by-State Survey. Find it by typing the title in the universal search box and clicking on the title when it appears. You can search the book or select one or many jurisdictions to search. The list of general questions tells the scope of the survey. For any section of the book, there are links on the left that provide access to the full contents of the treatise, useful in moving from state to state. If you click on a state name, you open the book to the discussion of that state's trade secret laws. The section content link helps you navigate within a state entry. Another source that sometimes provides helpful when looking for laws from many states is the subject compilation of state laws available through Hein Online. You can search the database by titles or subjects, but for the most comprehensive results, use a keyword search. A word of warning, this system does not run automatic equivalents for plurals. Linking to the subject term trademarks gets 137 results. These can be law review articles or books, or even a link to an online service like the Lexis and Westlaw 50-state surveys we saw. If the survey is in a law review on Hein Online, there are links to the article itself and directly to the referred to pages.